Hello everyone, NASCAR 21 Ignition, patch 1.5.1.0. What patch number is this? We have so many patches. It's day one. This looks like it's the 9th patch, but I have to go look at the last video I made on a patch to see exactly what number it is, because some of these patches aren't really patches. This is a patch. This actually has a good amount of stuff, but that was 1.45, which was like 2 months ago, I guess. But 1.5.10. Now guys, when I woke up this morning and I saw this, I was pretty ticked off, and we'll talk about that as we get there. I want to give a shout out to all the Patreon members, as always, for always from the channel. You guys, your help is massive, 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 and without the launch of a new game this year, you guys don't understand how much your help is necessary and appreciated. And trust me, I really, really do appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. And let's get to it. So again, not many people play this game right now. We know that. So this is more of what I'm looking at for this patch, guys. Is I'm looking at what is the team doing? What is Motorsport Games doing? Are they talking with their actions? Is essentially what I'm trying to say. I don't care about blog posts. I don't care about what they say. I want to see performance and effort put into whatever they are trying to do. Now, NASCAR 21 Ignition to me is kind of like a lost cause. Like, you want to kind of fix it and help things, but I mean, the game already launched, was already broken, that's it, right? So, you know, now it's just kind of like, what are you going to do? And this is for this patch, and it's for in what is it, about 2.5 to 3 months time, which is the September update. That's going to be really big because it's an expansion update, and so we'll talk about that later in this video. But it was released on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Steam. Now, the main thing for this patch is the next-gen upgrade. Now, when I said I was ticked off, this is what I was ticked off on. So, next-gen upgrade for Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5. You have 4K resolution at 30 FPS for the Series X and the PlayStation 5. You have 4K upscaling at 30 FPS for the Xbox Series S. You have online cross-generational console gameplay. Now, that's actually pretty cool. This is something that EA Sports hasn't even been able to do yet, which is essentially, if you're playing on a PS4, you can play with people on a PS5. If you're playing on an Xbox One, you can play with people on Xbox Series X. That's nice. Save imports from previous generation consoles and support for PlayStation 5 activities. That's like DualSense and stuff like that on the controller. Now, highlights would be this. But again, like I said, not many people are playing this game, so it kind of doesn't really make a huge difference. But you know, it is what it is. Now, we'll come back to this in a second. Let's just go through all the details. You'll notice it's very light. There's not a lot in here. Cars and schemes. Fixed an issue in career mode where players were appearing under their car. I did have that like last week or something like that. Fixed an issue where the anti-lock brake system was stuck on, and fixed an issue where sponsors' logos light was heavily reflected on the cars while on track. Fixed an issue with lighting at some of the night race tracks. I'm going to try this tomorrow. So we'll go through the patch gameplay tomorrow, guys. So if you want to try, if you do have this game and you want to try it yourself, try Las Vegas night, try Daytona night, try Charlotte night, and what other night races are there? Try Bristol night. Go to those, some of the stuff, that stuff. My issue with the lighting was that it just looked wrong. It was too bright in some spots, too dark in the others. So we'll look at that tomorrow. Fixed an issue in which high assist caused difficulties while pitting at certain tracks for pit stops. For the AI, fixed an issue in which the AI are driving off the apron and cutting corners short at Homestead. So at Homestead, they would literally just drive onto the apron. It was really annoying. And then for another AI, fixed an issue in which the AI takes control of a user's car when passing next to the pit stop entrance. And then in the UI, fix an issue that showcased miscellaneous stats incorrectly for stages and standings menu. This is by far, to me, the best thing in this patch. So what this is, and I had to get clarification for it because I didn't notice it at first. So I asked the community manager, Rusty, what this was about, or essentially what an issue was. And it's essentially, I can run stages now. So this is really good for me on PC, is that I can now run stages because the points will correctly, it will work correctly with stages. So now everyone will earn stage points. You'll earn playoff points, like 1 playoff point for winning a stage. You'll earn 5 playoff points for winning a race, and everything counts. So from here on out in the career mode that I'm running, then I will finally be able to run stages, which means I can finally up the length of the races because I can run stages. So that is a huge deal for me personally. So I appreciate that fix because that was something that was really, really bothering me. So now I can actually run stages. Fix an issue in which a quick selection of options from the garage pause menu would trigger a soft lock. And fix an issue that would cause the title to crash when idle in a race result screen as a coda. Again, I haven't had those types of issues. Those are very specific. Now, so where are the positives, right? We have the lighting, and we have, by far, this is the best one, because this was one of my main complaints recently, was the points not working with stages. So now that will fundamentally change how I play the game, so that's nice. Obviously, you can see there's not a lot of things fixed in terms of how the AI race. Now, I did read a few comments on Instagram posts and Twitter that there's actually a few things in this a few things that have been fixed that are not in the patch notes, and one of them is the difficulty at oval tracks. Apparently, they have toned down the OP-ness of OP-ness. OP-ness. Oh god. Oh my god, don't quote me on that. But basically, extreme difficulty won't be like impossible anymore on the oval tracks. That's not in the patch notes, but apparently that is the case in the game. We'll test that out tomorrow. So that's a positive, and this is a positive, and you know, I guess that's basically it. Again, no rearview mirror, no fundamental changes to the UI or things with the AI, and don't expect that. I would say don't expect that. It's a pipe dream at this moment. That will have to be for a new game. I don't even think you can't even expect that for September in the expansion pack. I don't think you can. Now, the one thing about Rearview Mirrors for the expansion pack is that in the next gen car, you do have the rear view camera along with the rear view mirror. So it would be really stupid if they didn't add some sort of rear view camera in a chase cam in September, because literally the next gen cars have a rear view camera. Like the literal camera that you would use in video games is on the next gen cars. So you would expect them to have that. Now, what ticked me off, okay? And I already told Rusty, the community manager, and I think I've made my point very clear on this. So this is what ticked me off, is right here. Guys, I play on PC, okay? So I want to make it very clear that even going into this patch, I knew it wouldn't affect me, but I knew it would affect a lot of you guys, because, guys, the majority of players who play racing games or NASCAR games or whatever are on console. The majority of gamers are on console. PC gaming is still growing, and, you know, obviously a lot of hardcore gamers play PC. Sim racers play PC, of course, but you're not playing NASCAR 21 Ignition if you have a PC. Do you understand me? If you have a PC, you're most likely playing iRacing or Assetto Corsa or F1 or R-Factor 2 or whatever. Those are the games you're playing. You're not playing NASCAR 21 Ignition. The point of NASCAR 21 Ignition was to be a simcade that for console gaming and for PC and stuff, it would be really good. Now, let me give you a quick summary here. Is that on PC, I can run, since launch, guys, since launch, I can run this game at 60 FPS, I can run this game at 120 FPS, I can run this game uncapped at whatever resolution I want, and it looks and plays really well since launch. It has been like that, so I've never had an issue visually on PC. On consoles, it's always been 30 FPS, and that is why I strongly avoid consoles, because it completely changes the fundamental of the game. It's very important to state this, because on PC, you can easily run this game at 60 FPS. You don't need the most powerful PC. You don't need like a powerful memory card or GPU unit or CPU. You don't need it. You can run this game at 60 FPS. It's pretty simple to run. Whatever decision was made here, I don't know if you guys know more about like the performance side of gaming, but on a PS5 and an Xbox Series X, especially on racing games, okay? We're not talking about single player story mode games like an Uncharted or a Last of Us or something that has insane, you know, cutscenes or standout, you know, set pieces or stuff like that that take up a lot of power. We're talking about racing games. Dirt 5, naturally, on the next-gen consoles, runs at 120 FPS at beautiful resolution. The F1 games run at 60 FPS with 4K resolution, okay? The power of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X can easily run racing games at 60 FPS. It's the bare minimum that racing games need to accomplish. The minimum is 60 FPS with a solid resolution. I'm talking like 1440p, resolution essentially. We're not talking 4K. I don't need 4K resolution at 60 FPS because that's still even a struggle for some last-gen games that are going to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. That's still a struggle for them, but we're talking about story mode games. For racing games, it's straight cut. You should be able to hit 60 FPS with a very high resolution. So whoever made the decision to target a 4K resolution at 30 but not give an option for 60 FPS, there's no excuse. None. I don't want to hear any of it. There's no excuse. I made it very clear to them. Very clear. I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear reasoning like, the system wouldn't allow it. On PC, I can run the game at 120 FPS or uncapped and be completely fine. So on an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 is essentially a mid-level PC. It is very powerful, much powerful enough to get the game to be optimized at 60 FPS. I don't understand any reasoning, concept, excuse as to why on consoles it is not running at 60 FPS. If you want to run 30 FPS for a racing game at 4K resolution, you want to have that option, fine. But it makes a massive, important, and key difference in terms of 30 FPS and 60 FPS in a racing game. And naturally, the base, the normal setting you should have in racing games is 60 FPS. Every video you have seen me play this game on PC has been at 60 FPS. That's why it looks really good, that's why it looks really smooth, and that's why it's great. And for the console players, I knew from the start that you guys did not have that, and it was unacceptable. When I heard next-gen upgrade, not even a doubt in my mind, I knew 60 FPS was coming. There was no doubt in my mind 60 FPS was coming. So when I woke up and I saw that there was no 60 FPS option, it actually shocked me. I was genuinely shocked. I didn't think it was even a possibility for this game to not have a 60 FPS option on a next-gen upgrade. So that is one of the most unforgivable, disappointing, ridiculous decisions that's ever been done I've ever seen in a racing game. I am trying to think of examples that in current modern day where there's a racing game that is not hitting 60 FPS. I can't think of one. Guys, Hot Wheels can easily hit 60 FPS on the Unreal Engine. This game is on the Unreal Engine, and there is no excuse because I can run this game at 120 FPS on PCs. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Whatever they have to do to optimize this game for 60 FPS, there had to be that option for consoles, and I am really sorry for you guys on consoles that can't do that can't play the game how it should be playing. There's enough bugs. I'm not even getting mad about the bugs. When the pace car comes out under caution and destroys half the field, I don't care. Fine. I found it funny, honestly. I don't mind. But the fact that you can't get the performance where, guys, I'm not being harsh. This is bare minimum. If you know anything about gaming, this is the minimum expectation. Minimum. If I go to a gym, I expect there to be a bench press machine. If I go to a gym, I expect there to be a treadmill. If I go to McDonald's, I expect there to be French fries. That's the bare minimum when you walk into these places. When you are playing a racing game on the next-gen console, the bare minimum is 60 FPS. Racing. I want to make that very clear. Racing game. Not any standalone story mode like a Spider-Man game or anything. Racing game. Should be very easy to hit 60 FPS. It's farcical. It makes absolutely no sense. I've talked to them. I've talked to Rusty, the community manager. I've been very transparent and very clear with them how ungodly disappointed I am with whatever decision. I cannot see how they did not target 60 FPS. You didn't have to target 4K. You did not have to target 4K. A lot of people don't play this game on 4K. You can do it if you want, but you don't have to. You could have targeted a lower resolution and hit 60 FPS. And ideally, what you should do is have the 4K at 30 and the lower resolution at 60. And you give the player the option. You give them the option, 60 or 30. What you want to do? It's unfair. I don't understand. I do not understand how that is not in here. I think I've made myself very clear. We're all on the same page here, right, guys? This is not about, this is not, I'm pretty sure when I play the game tomorrow, I'm going to be pretty happy with some of the changes. But guys, that's because I'm on PC. That's because I am playing the game on 60 FPS settings. And it's smooth, and it's butter, and it looks really good on PC. And for a next-gen update, it should have been like that. It should, just bare minimum. Bare minimum. It should have been like that. There's no excuse. There's nothing. I can't repeat myself any more than that. There are positives, obviously, with the stages being fixed. I like that. And I have to see if the night races are better. But the most important thing for me from this company is that they said our actions will speak for the company, like for us, like, right? The Motorsport Games company. I'm not working with them. I just want to make sure you guys don't twist my words. Like I said, for us, I'm working for Motorsport Games. No, I can say whatever the hell I want. I don't get paid, whatever. They said to the community that their actions will, speak for themselves. That one action of a next-gen upgrade that can't hit 60 FPS is very alarming. Very alarming. That's not good. And so, what I'm getting to here is, I think for the September expansion pack, I don't think you can charge money for it. I personally, I don't. If you want your actions to speak for your intentions, you cannot charge money for the expansion pack. Personally, I don't think you can. I think you have to make it free. I would not recommend anyone have to pay for that. And that decision is a consequence of everything that's happened with this game. The launch, how bad the launch was. They've done a good job fixing and patching and trying to fix as much as they can in the amount of time. The reason I say they've done a good job with that is you could see they have done a lot of patches. You cannot yell at them for not doing a lot of patches. This is one of the small patches, right? How do I go back when I'm in full screen? They've done a good amount of patches, and they've tried to fix multiple different things throughout the time, which I appreciate, and I cannot get. They've done a lot more patches than a lot of other companies do. I'll tell you that. So that's good. But they're, as a consequence of how this game launched and what we've seen, I personally, look at all these fixed issues at the beginning. This is, Jesus Christ. That's a lot of fixed issues at the beginning when they were fully working on it. And I do want to make clear, a lot of the resources have probably already moved on to A, the expansion pack, and to B, NASCAR 23. I'm at a point where I kind of wish everything would go to NASCAR 23. Honestly, push everything, all the resources you got into NASCAR 23. That would be my move. That would be my move. And personally, for me, I think you have to make the expansion pack, expansion update in September free. I do not think you can charge it. If you charge anything for it, $10. It can't be 20. It can't be 30. Hell, even $5. You want to give them $5? You want to charge $5 for it? I'll take $5 as acceptable. If you can't pay the price of a coffee for an expansion pack, then I don't know what to tell you. Either free or $5. I don't think it should be more than that, honestly. That's just my opinion. If it's 20, I would not be recommending it to you, no matter how good it is. If the next gen update comes in, the next gen cars drive great, if the game's all fixed, yada yada yada, if everything in the game is fixed, which will not happen, that will not happen, then maybe. But other than that, no, not $20. I cannot recommend that to you. So, okay, I think I got everything out of my system. Guys, we will test this tomorrow, but this is the full details. And yeah, I don't know, just again, this doesn't affect me, but you could see how passionate I am about it, because I feel really bad for all you guys. I have the game on my console. I'm gonna probably test it on console tomorrow, just to show you guys the difference between PC and console. The console has to be on the same, maybe not on the same level as PC, because PC is more powerful, but it has to be at 60 FPS. It's just that simple. It really is. I can't, make it any more clear than that. Other than that, I think, I literally just made a video last week praising one of their games, which was KartCraft. I really like KartCraft. And NASCAR 23 is going to be something, they're going to use technology from KartCraft for NASCAR 23, which is a good thing. But this idea that they could target 30 FPS and get away with that, that's not good. For me personally, there are some, like I said, there's some, I know I keep repeating myself, guys. I'm sorry. I'll end the video right now. There's some things like the points and the stages that work that's good in the night races. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Am I being too harsh? Am I not being harsh enough? Do you guys just not care? Like, you know, let me know what you think about all of this, and we'll test it out tomorrow. And shout out, I want to give a quick shout out to guys like Jay, to guys like Rusty, who openly have to, you know, they work on the game. They're the community manager, and Jay's the brand manager. And these guys are awesome guys. These guys are awesome, awesome guys. And the amount of hate they get is really annoying, because a lot of you take out your anger on Twitter and Instagram and on the posts. That's not where you're supposed to be taking your anger out. They have nothing to do with it. They are just simply whatever the game is being fixed on. They're relaying that information. They work on the marketing side of things, and they are awesome, awesome people. And if you met them in person, you would never, ever say a bad word about any of them. I know a lot of you guys think about that way with Rusty. So those guys are just awesome, and I don't like the hate they get, which is why decisions like this from the development team piss me off, because then Rusty and Jay have to get the hate for the things that the development team decided to choose. That's what makes me mad. Whoever high executive decided to say, oh, let's target 30 and not 60, that's what pisses me off. Because then Jay and Rusty have to get the hate for it, have to get the death threats for it, have to get the, you guys suck, you can't make a good game for it. They have to get that. They have to deal with that. And that pisses me off, man. That pisses me off. While the people who are actually making the decisions and making the game, they get to hide. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's what makes me mad. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll test this out. I should be in a much better mood tomorrow, because obviously I'll be on PC. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.